I don't have a PowerPoint, but there is a pink handout on your tables that you're welcome to take. Part of it is a plug for a session tomorrow, well, not tomorrow, Friday, that will involve this project as well as some other materials from Seattle University. And you'll get to see, if you come to our session, you'll get to see Paul Anderson again, who's going to be responding to our session on assignment design that draws on the work from this project as well as some work that's being funded by the Teagle Foundation at Seattle University. The genesis of this grant is a little bit weird. We have been, at Carleton College in Minnesota, we have been the recipient of generous support from the Bush Foundation, which is, as Joanna pointed out, a regional foundation in the upper Midwest. And we got to a point where we had a new idea. And I called my program officer at Bush and told him my new idea, and he said, we can't do that. And so he referred me to someone who reviews for Spencer. And so that's how I got directed to the Spencer Foundation, and let me tell you about the idea. As we were working to unite on our campus the whole notion of faculty development and assessment in some really productive ways, we got to thinking about how if those things are united, and if we think of faculty development curricularly, that faculty development is something that we want to have to be iterative, and we want to have it be a learning experience for faculty, and we also want to assess it, that it does fit with student learning as a paradigm, and one would hope that better trained, better educated faculty are able to teach better and therefore improve student learning. And I think all of us who operate faculty development projects have at some faith level that notion that what you're doing matters, not just to people participating in your workshop or in your program, but that this is going to improve the classroom and therefore improve the student experience. But it's not in literature. K through 12 is way ahead of us in this respect. The higher ed literature is almost silent on this whole connection. And so that was my idea that the Bush Foundation thought was out of their range. And so I talked to Jack Rossman, who's a emeritus professor at Macalester College and reviews for Spencer, and he referred me to a person in the president's office at Spencer, and one thing led to another, and we finally sent a very preliminary proposal to the president who said, we can't do this, but, and that's where Joanna's advice is don't give up. This is where it's really important. The but turned out to be flesh this out, invite some partners in, anything you would find out on your own campus about the connections between faculty development and student learning would be so local that they couldn't be generalizable, and why should we pay for that? Fair enough. So we have, as our sheet describes, my pink sheet describes, we have partnered with Washington State University, which also has a long-standing writing across the curriculum program and writing assessment. And we partnered with the Science Education Research Center, which is a grant-funded outfit which is related to Carleton College. And they have enormous reach into the geosciences in particular, but other sciences as well, in terms of faculty development. What they are in for is both to help us with assessment and the fact that they never get to see the payoff of the work they do with faculty. They don't ever get to see the student products. They don't ever get to see what happens with the kind of teaching that they're teaching their colleagues. So there was something in it for everyone. Again, as Joanna points out, multiple methods are involved. We do have interviews, observations, surveys in the form of evaluations of faculty events, and to some extent course evaluations, but there's less emphasis on that. We're doing a lot of textual analysis of student work, and we're also doing ethnography, trying to find out from faculty in terms of their careers and their own interests how their way of teaching has come about, and whether they can trace influences from childhood as well as the kind of thing they're encountering as professionals. The things we're going to talk about in our session on Friday are going to be talking about assignment design as one of the things we've studied quite extensively. And I don't want to scoop my program there too much, but the good news is we do think we have some results. We do think we can show that when faculty learn stuff, they teach better and students can perform better. And the best way we have to show that so far is by looking at student work in large samples that are rated at the other institution. In this case, our work has been sent to Washington State, mixed in with their work, and rubrics that they use that we don't. And we found some really interesting results based on those kinds of examinations and assessments. And we attribute the results to improved assignment design. And we are hoping that this will hold up across time and across cases and with more independent readers. The team approach that everyone has talked about so far is certainly important as well. You can see on the handout the number of people that are directly involved in our project, and then you have to add dozens and dozens of faculty and students who are participants, even if they aren't necessarily on the payroll. We have found that this work was less expensive than we thought it would be. The original grant was for 3 years and $485,000. We're going to be able to go into an unfunded 4th year and to spend down the money, which is great because by that time we will be able to play out some of the investigations we've begun and get more into print. What we're hoping for, as I said at 4Cs last year, is that when we could come up with a model that says this kind of curriculum for faculty can lend these kinds of results for students, we're hoping that that model, if it's demonstrated in 2 very different institutions plus an online faculty development institution, we're hoping that that is the kind of model that's generalizable and that we can hand over to you.